Patricia Nolan-Brown, successful inventor, serial entrepreneur, best-selling author of Idea to Invention, international speaker, retail flipper, and road tripper. This is the Invent Yourself Show.
Hey, are you a dog lover, a dog walker, a dog sitter? Well, I believe dogs are little gifts from heaven. I just love them. But they leave us little gifts every time we take them out for a walk. And guess who has to pick them up because they don't have thumbs? We do it. I was so frustrated trying to undo those plastic bags on a roll and then have to tie a knot in it, all while my dog is pulling me away, and then carry that thing to the trash. So I invented a new dog waste bag. It's super easy to open, pops right open. No need to fumble with that plastic. And then it seals shut. No tying knots, like a contortionist in the circus. Best part of all, some people tell me, is that you can clip the used bag onto the bottom of the little carrier that comes with it. So it's a hands-free walk back to the trash. If you'd like to find out more, they're called Parachute Dog Waste Bags, and they're available now on Amazon. PARACHUTEDOG Waste Bags. Check them out. Hey everybody, it's Patricia. In this episode, I sit down with another creative I met in Florence and now consider her a friend. I was super intrigued as to how and why she ended up in Italy, how everything evolved, how she invented herself, as we all can do. As you'll find out, it's not planning everything out on paper and being disappointed when you don't meet those milestones. It's just letting life happen, basically. And I'm a true believer that you can invent yourself at any age or stage in life. So I'm not going to talk a lot more about this. I will apologize for the loud background during this interview. It was in a very busy coffee shop, one of her favorites, called Ditta Artigianale. So, sorry for the background noise, but I still think you'll gain a lot of insight from this, how someone just thought something up and moved forward with it. I am here with Georgette Jupe. I say everybody's name wrong.
It's okay,
Sorry.
It's confusing.
Jupe. Well, you sound like you're from Italy, but I know you're not originally from Italy.
No, so my name, Georgette, is a French name. It's kind of old-fashioned, so it would be basically like if you named your daughter Gertrude or something like that.
But I love those names. And guess what his mother's name is?
What is his mother's name?
Geraldine.
Geraldine, there you go.
See, they're all coming back.
See, I never thought I was actually going to meet somebody who was French because my name's so embarrassing, but of course I did and got married to him. And we live in Italy, but neither of us are Italian.
It all works out. Nico,
yes, Nico's
I've been following you.
The dog's Florentine.
The dog. Well, we grew up, Jill and I, with a beagle named Ollie, and he howled like
the first person I know
a
is named their
hound
beagle Molly.
Ollie.
Oh, Ollie.
I have a daughter, Molly.
Oh, Molly and Ollie. That's easy
right.
to remember.
Yes. Molly Brown, our middle daughter, the unsinkable. You can back up if you want, Tom. That's good. Oh, she's saying that's good. All right.
You go.
Like I said, we're not professionals. But tell me how you ended up here.
Well,
short version.
Yeah, exactly. Because there's 12 years involved in that. I came originally as a study abroad student. So 2005, I was living in Los Angeles. I'm originally from Texas, and I had the opportunity first to go to China to teach English, which was amazing. I never imagined I would make it there. So I had that experience first, then I wanted to study abroad, but preferably in an English-speaking country like London, because at the time I was studying political science. But then as it happened, there was this opportunity to come to Florence, and I couldn't pass that up, or I should say my dad kind of was like, Georgette, what are you thinking? Like, you should go to Florence and enjoy yourself in Italy. So that's kind of what sparked the Italy love journey, but I had no preconceptions of what I thought Italy would be like, and I think that's kind of what helped me enjoy the country as is, because I was in a group with a lot of people that really had an idea of what they thought Italy would be, what they thought Italy would give them, and for me, I was like, well, I'm here. I'm going to enjoy the best, the best of this year, and then go back to Los Angeles.
That's very entrepreneurial, that spirit.
Yeah.
Throw it out, figure it out later.
Exactly. Like, if I'm thinking about too much, I'm never going to do it.
Exactly.
And so I felt like...
Analysis paralysis, right?
Yeah, there you go. Maybe that'll be good whenever I'm procrastinating. I'm like, I don't know what show I got into.
But you're a writer.
I am, yes.
So were you always...
One of my many jobs.
Yeah. You have a blog called A Girl in Florence.
Yes.
But you're also a social media manager?
I am. So I am an editor at an online digital magazine called Italy Magazine. So let's say that's one of the high pieces of my career.
Yes.
And then I also work as a consultant in social media.
So you're doing
clients.
You're doing everything on your own, though.
Yes, I'm my own. I work for myself.
So you have invented
clients.
yourself. I don't like to use the term reinvent yourself because we're all inventing ourselves.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm old, still inventing myself.
I think I'll be like that too.
Yes,
I think that's
we'll
good.
go like that.
Exactly.
So I like to tell my viewers that you don't have to figure it all out by age 18.
No.
Because I'm nowhere where I thought I'd be. Mm-hmm. But what I love about you is that you took that leap into the unknown, which I would have been afraid to do at a young age.
Right.
But my daughter studied abroad and wants to go live back in Australia.
Is that where she studied abroad? Oh, nice.
So the travel is fantastic for people, and I realized that later in life.
Yeah.
I went to a writer's retreat and wrote a book. Grazie. Grazie, prego.
Per me non è un problema.
Oh, no problem.
They didn't have coconut milk, but that's fine.
Oh, coconut is the name of my Westie.
Is it? Do you also love coconut?
And I miss coconut.
Aww.
But my daughter literally sent a video today of her saying hello, and I'm not even kidding. I'll show you the video.
I want to see the video.
The dog says hello. I will show you.
My kind of dog.
I will show you.
We're trying to teach Ginger how to talk, but
well, we didn't know she talked, but she's on the video. So, and I said that's got to be Molly in the background, but Molly wasn't. She was talking, and it was amazing. At any rate, it wasn't in Italian though. The vet told us to take the dog, but couldn't do it. Back to you.
No.
How old is your beagle?
So my beagle is 5 years old.
Is he the best? She, Ginger.
She is our entire life. You know, when we first got her, I didn't actually want a dog.
I know.
I wanted a hedgehog.
You do have a love of hedgehogs, I did read.
I love hedgehogs. And I think my husband's way of saying no was like, look how cute beagles are.
So
They're
cute.
the perfect dog for an apartment.
So
and
cute.
Because he doesn't like really small dogs. So,
Our dog does not either.
Yeah, I mean...
Our dog does not
I'm
either.
open to I love all animals, of course, and I'm sure he does too, but it was kind of like a good middle ground. But, of course, when we got the beagle, I was at home working, so I was with her primarily.
She's a baby.
And she was crazy. Yeah. I mean, beagles, when
they're
they're young,
nuts. Yeah.
she ate 2 couches.
Oz used to eat our Angora sweaters. And when you went to grab it,
yeah.
he would howl.
Oh, yeah. I know. It was, she basically remodeled our house for us.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I didn't like the couches anyway, so she did me a favor. Maybe I might have put some bacon in
But they can do no
cushions.
wrong, right? No.
But they give you that face, kind of like, are you really going to be mad at me?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, I find it interesting that you have a blog for the dog as well. And that's what caught my eye because
Instagram account.
My latest invention is a dog product. It's nothing glamorous, but it's a new dog waste bag kit.
Okay.
It turns into a scoop if you prefer. You know how you struggle to open those plastic bags?
Yes.
Well, this pops right open. No knots required.
Yeah.
If I can show it to you, I will later, but I brought you one.
Oh, thank you.
So it has 4 of the sleeves inside. And
That's awesome.
I finally sourced them in China, and now they're available on Amazon.
Oh,
that took me
that's great.
so long to
Is
figure
it really?
out. I studied Amazon for probably a year, over a year, I'd say.
Yeah?
And so now I can teach inventors and people with products how to do it, or not do it. But you have been traveling to other places in Italy. Is that because it's August?
It is. It's because it's the summertime holidays, and even though we prefer to holiday, actually even more so in other times of the year because it's less crowded and better climate, I really wanted to take advantage of this particular summer and really, go see some places. And also, my husband's family came from France, and we were showing his niece and nephew around. So it was kind of like family time, and then we need our own time. So then we went down south and ate a lot of mozzarella.
Nice.
It's great.
Yeah, we've been to a few different places, but so we're here for the month of August, and we were going to travel more, but I just like being here, and I feel so relaxed here. I'm an artist by. I graduated as an art major, and then I got into the inventing field. So the art, just everything, the history is great.
But that's all kind of merges together.
Yes.
Creative people are creative people.
Thank you. Thank you for that. So, do you think you'll be doing this in the next few years, or do you just throw your arms up and say whatever?
I don't know what's going to happen. With my world, especially the social media side, it's anyone's guess about what's going to happen. What's going to be the next big thing? Are these social networks going to be as popular as they are now? I don't know. People might become more private later.
I think it's coming around a little bit.
It is, and I think being that I'm 35, I just turned 35 recently.
I know. Happy birthday, by the way.
Thank you.
Recently.
It's kind of like, whoa.
Sorry.
Died.
Oh, sorry. Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, dang.
That's a story of my life too.
Well,
Storage.
I guess what I'll do is I'll make a video on here and say, for the rest of the interview, join the podcast. That'll work, right?
Yeah. We got to make,
Yeah.
Oh, Jill has no storage either. All right.
I don't know how to get rid of
Hey,
it.
you know what? We're still live on the podcast.
Do you want me to show that video of coconut?
Oh, sure. So while Joe's out here, we'll show. Sorry, my cameraman ran out of space on his phone. We are traveling. So for you joining us to hear the rest of the interview with Georgette, the cameraman Thomas is showing Georgette a video of my Westie actually saying hello, and I'm not even lying. She says hello on this video. We can show her afterwards. We can show her after. Or I can stop this. You know what? I can stop this. I'll be back in a minute. No, you have to turn it up.
She said hello.
No, it sounded
said
like
hello.
It sounded like hello.
She's out in the front yard.
She said friggin' hello. We gotta go home and get that. We need to start an Instagram account.
I think you do.
Yeah.
I think Coconut needs to get the
Coconut needs
the
her own
fame she
account.
deserves.
That's right. So you're going to. Do you live in La Curé? How do you say
Le Curé?
that? I can't say that right.
Well,
Say it again.
Le Curé.
Le Curé.
So actually, I live down the street. I live here.
Oh, you do? Nice.
Yeah, in the Old Arno.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, no, it's
Nice.
great. I've been here for the past, let's say, 5 or 6 years, and I used to live outside of the center of Florence, and now I'm back.
I kind of want to live here for longer, but we'll see. So tell me, if young people, even not young, because I think everybody at any age can invent themselves.
Right.
So what advice would you have for people saying, well, I'm going to move to Italy, I'm going to start a blog? It's not that easy. Let's put it out there. You have years into this.
Exactly. I would say, I would ask them first, what is the reason why they're moving to Italy? Maybe that's, and the reason why I say that is because for me personally, I never had this plan to go, okay, I'm going to come to Italy and I'm going to move there and I'm going to live the rest of my life and it's going to be amazing. It just happened to be part of my life. I came here as a student and then I came back and I met my husband here and my work is here, but it never was kind of the destination to fulfill everything I needed in life. It just happens to be part of,
So what you're saying, if I hear you correctly, is you didn't have the goal to come here and do X, Y, Z. You were
not
open
at all.
to
Not at all. And especially not with the blog, because at the time when I started the blog, that's when blogs were starting to pick up. This was online diaries, basically
like
sharing your innermost thoughts. Yeah, in my case, I started a couple of different blogs, mainly about political science at the time because I was or political politics. That's what I was studying and I was interested in. I realized, luckily, I didn't do that now because that would be a hot mess. But I quickly changed to what my life was here in Florence, but there was no expectation that blog was going to turn into a viable career or anything like that.
So there's a good message too. Do what you love. At the time you were doing political science, but you skipped to another. Like you weren't so pigeonholed into that area.
No.
That and now you can even brand, your name and your blog to do anything. You're not
Right.
You're not stuck anywhere.
No.
You're not Sarah, the political science blogger. You know what I
No.
mean? So a good message to people trying to invent themselves. Don't even try to invent yourself. It's going to happen, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Just, don't be so concerned, too, with what other people think.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
in the inventing world, you have to put blinders on, too. Because too many people will kill your dream or give you false hope.
Right.
So you just have to kind of follow. And,
Yeah.
and you know this at a young age.
I
Relatively
also
young
used to
age.
actually work. One of my jobs here is I used to work at a startup enterprise. So basically, it's an Italian company called Nana Bianca, and it focused on helping startups incubate. And that was an interesting experience because, of course, it was like a very small, tiny, not as important sector compared to Silicon Valley or anything like that. However, it was very interesting for me to work in that environment here in Italy. And I learned a lot from that experience. And I will say that for what I do now, my career, having my own clients and do my thing, it also comes after many, many years for working for other people. So I think that sometimes when I talk to especially younger people who, they want to meet me or maybe they want to do what I do, I always say, well, work for other people first. You need to get the experience.
Then you learn what you don't want to do, right?
Exactly.
You don't want a boss.
And
or-
also maybe
yeah.
the impact of how heavy it is also to work for yourself, pay your own taxes, hire an accountant, especially in a foreign country. We pay very high taxes here. Mine personally is almost 50%.
I heard
And,
that. I heard that. That's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. Of course, that includes my retirement, healthcare, and maternity leave eventually. So I think, those are things that I appreciate, but it's something that you can't be thinking about moving to another country without thinking about how to financially sustain yourself while there.
And that's hard to tell young people because they're so young.
Or older people or anybody
that's
that
funny,
writes
too.
me who says, I want to move there. The reason why I asked even in the beginning, why would somebody want to move to Italy is because what I don't think is good is somebody thinking Italy is going to make them happy. You have to find that wherever you are.
Amen.
You know?
Amen. It's not
Because it's very
easy.
easy to come abroad, have this high of this new country, and I want to learn the language and this and that, and then quickly fall into a depression because you don't have a lifelong links to the community like you might in somewhere else.
That's right.
know?
And so I was at the Creatives in Florence. I think Sarah started.
Exactly. Yeah, Sarah.
And I met all these people who were actually, the young people are kind of quiet, but I can go in and just start talking.
Which is
and,
great.
and open them up a little bit. And some people were just meeting the other people for the first time, but they're like, we need a social outlet because it's so, when you're an entrepreneur or you're working, by yourself, even freelancing for someone, whatever, it's lonely.
It is very lonely.
It gets
Yeah.
isolating, and I know that creative people I need my alone time to get my stuff done. But if I don't start seeing people, I need to get my social network. And I can see where you're saying. If you grew up in Texas and your childhood friends are in Texas.
Yeah. Or, and I feel too, I always encourage people to create the community that you lack at home first. So if you're living in Los Angeles or you're living in Kansas City or in New York City, start thinking about how you can grow a community there or find people that are similar to you before you pick up and move to Italy and, expect everybody to drop what they're doing here to become your friend.
It's great advice.
know?
Because it's hard to break in sometimes. People are guarded.
Yeah. And
so-
they have their own friends already.
Do you do all your own posts on Instagram, or do you?
Yes, I do everything.
How
You
the
can
heck?
tell. Come on.
No, but it's like 100 times a day. Like, I don't know if it's the age I'm at now that I can't just think of doing that all day long.
Yeah.
I did burn out a little bit. I started in 2009 doing how to invent video and all kinds of. I had a
Right.
show. And I was saying the same thing over and over and over. Now, this was before Instagram and all the other platforms, so I'm a little overwhelmed trying to get it out to all the platforms. But I guess the message is just put it out somewhere.
Right.
So that's why
I
I'm
agree.
trying to get back into the podcast, strictly to help people. To help people not only invent a product by themselves so they don't get ripped off, because I can advise them that way.
I think everybody's seen that movie. What's the movie with the woman that invents
what is it? Yeah,
the
broom,
the mopper.
That's such a common story. And
I was thinking that.
I've met so many people who have lost their shirts, their houses, their kids' college funds, and you know what? You can do it for under $100 now.
Yeah.
Yes, and
do you think it's a matter of people knowing their rights and how
knowing
to protect
knowing the steps, because it seems so overwhelming and daunting. And you know, it's funny how life comes around, because I was just one of the judges for an international event in Silicon Valley, like the only woman on the panel.
Which is kind of crazy in 2019.
And I just want to be a role model for. I mean, I have 3 daughters, for everyone really, but especially for the girls and all the women inventors who they weren't allowed to get patents not that long ago. It had to be in the husband's name and all that good stuff. So I'm just hoping to put out some inspiration to do it.
Right.
Because you can do it. I beat a lot of odds, and you beat a lot of odds.
Yeah.
So be the other percent. Don't always look at the 99 that don't make it, right?
Absolutely.
That's exciting.
No, it is exciting. I think you know, in Italy, for example, it's considered a very hard country to start a business. But a lot of us that have done, you know, whether it's online like me or a brick and mortar store, you know, a lot of us were put into the position where we kind of had to invent our own careers because it is very difficult to break into the mainstream.
And that's why I like what you do. You invented your whole your whole career, and so that's why I wanted to talk to you and to share with my followers. And where can I find you, Georgette?
I'm on girlinflorence.com. That's the name of my personal website blog. You can also find me on Instagram at the same name, Girl in Florence, Facebook, Girl in Florence, Twitter, Girl in Florence. Try to keep it easy. And if you love
And
people,
she is a girl in Florence.
I am a girl living in Florence.
Well, actually, it's Girl in Florence, not the A at the beginning.
Exactly. And my dog has an Instagram account if you are into snarky beagles roaming around Florence, called Beagle in Florence. So as you can see, I'm very creative.
It's adorable. It's adorable. And the more I clicked on your links, the deeper I got into all the stuff that you do. It's amazing. You're a really good writer too, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't love to write. I wrote a book though, but I prefer just to kind of.
It's
It's
easy
not
as they make it seem when they take pictures of coffee shops and put out pens and pencils. Actually putting it down.
Exactly. So do you think that it might come around a little bit, that people do want a little more privacy, and maybe there'll be only a couple of platforms?
Yes, I do. I think that it's coming to the point where a lot of, especially young people, are preferring messaging apps and preferring to share things only with their friends in that way. And even somebody as open as I am online, it's changed a lot since when we first started. So I believe that you can have a private and a public life, and that you can hopefully harmonize both realities.
Yes, I have 3 daughters, and I watch their activities over the years. And they really don't like it. It's isolating, but where I have products and I'm trying to do a business, I need to be on there, because once you're not on there, you're irrelevant. But it is hard for them to grow up with it, I think. But one of my daughters has had it her whole life, so there's no different comparison than, say, my older daughter, who has had it and not had it.
Exactly.
Very interesting time.
I remember what it was like before.
Yeah, like
the
having a
internet,
cell phone.
and before having a cell phone, before having a Facebook profile, and I remember it now. And I honestly think it depends on your personality too. I personally wouldn't do what I do if I thought I couldn't mentally handle criticism online.
Interesting.
You know, so.
Yeah, it's crazy. One bad comment and you're devastated for months, even though you have a bunch of good ones, right?
Exactly.
It's kind of like life, though. You can ignore them or not.
Yeah.
What about privacy when the bambino arrives?
Not pregnant.
No, but if you ever do.
Yeah.
And that's forward of me to say, but I'm just thinking a lot of these social media guru, Gary Vaynerchuk will not put it's his wife saying don't put the kids on at all. Mm-hmm. And then you have Casey Neistat who's showing the kids back but not the front, and it's tricky. So
people are deciding on what they're comfortable sharing, and I think that's the way to go. I think it's very personal. I know I could imagine, I don't want to share at all my future child's photos on the internet. Maybe it's not their permission or anything like that. And I understand that point of view, because I don't think that I love what I do, but I probably wouldn't start an Instagram account for, my future child, even though I think people would expect that I would.
And some people do that in hopes that, the theory is they're going to see, if someone really wanted to see them, and the reason I ask you that is because I have kids that were halfway grown up when I started, and I felt kind of funny with them on it, but at the same time, my parents had the Super 8 camera going, and it wasn't all over the world, right? So I wanted your opinion on that.
It's a hard one.
Yeah.
I honestly don't I'm not super strict on I don't know what we're going to do.
We'll see what happens.
We're going to see what happens.
But no, I didn't even mean to say. I'm just.
Yeah.
I ask people that. I was asking other, especially women.
Yeah.
Because some of the women have different opinions than the men who are online too.
Of course, and that for me would be number one is what is my husband comfortable with.
I think I'd have the kid under a hood, but then you get to be like Michael Jackson's kids, and they're out, you don't want that.
And I feel like it has to. I mean, I do think that what makes my website something that resonates with people is the fact that I'm personal.
Yes,
when
very
I write,
personal.
I don't want to be Condé Nast Traveler, and I don't want to just be giving people travel advice. It's kind of annoying.
That's the niche that you have. That's why you're so good. That's the niche you have, and that's the beagle thing.
And the beagle thing too. It's my beagle. I mean, I am.
It'd be so funny if you wouldn't show the beagle and you have him behind like a cardboard. You know what I'm saying?
Ginger.
Or Nico, you have him in a box.
The second she sees people recognize Ginger on the street sometimes.
So
and when that happens, she instantly throws herself on the ground for cuddles. So, I mean, if anything, she's like, she wants it all.
Good for her. My dog loves people, but does not like dogs.
Yeah, well, that happens.
So the vet said, well, we didn't have time to socialize her. And he said, well, don't stress her out. A lot of dogs don't like dogs. I said, okay.
It's true.
That's okay. Because we had a Dalmatian years ago. It was our baby. We had no kids, so we went to puppy kindergarten, socialized it.
Right.
We just didn't have time. But they're the greatest things. Well, I want to thank you for taking time. I hope I hit on everything because I'm not like a professional interviewer, obviously, but I really wanted to meet you. And listen to me. You're talking to me here in the coffee shop, and you were just with Sting, the singer.
Well,
I'm feeling good.
To a farmhouse party where at his house.
Sting and Trudy's
house, exactly. They have this annual party to celebrate their farmhouse products. They make wine and olive oil and honey, and it was amazing. It was great to go, and he actually sang, but I didn't get to meet him personally. He kind of booked it.
Don't say that. Don't say that. Yeah. Actually, it's interesting because back at home they just aired a piece on Florence on Good Morning Sunday morning,
it was like
and it was a repeat. Jane Pauley, and they covered the artist Clet. As well, and I was just there doing it. I'm like, damn girl, the playing field is level.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm Jane Pauley doing the same thing. It's crazy.
Yeah,
that's the nice part about this, that anybody can try it.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
Well, and that's why, but people love, because I mean, if anyone can, it gives a more even playing field than
Absolutely does.
Before, how you had to know famous people or have a rich family and everything.
It democratizes everything, which I love that about social media. You can learn about anything you want. You can go to Google and figure everything out.
Yeah. And if you find yourself getting overwhelmed by it, which happens a lot, there's nothing wrong with turning it off. I mean, the mentally sane while using social media thing is important, because if I felt like I was getting overwhelmed with my notifications or trying to keep up with all the messages, I would just turn it off and focus on whatever else I want to do, take a long walk or anything like that. And
that is an excellent point, because a lot of people, even with your stature, let's say, wouldn't shut it off for fear that someone might you might lose a follower or something. But I think that's very important for you to say, because people burn out. They do. They burn out, and you need to take time. But I notice that you do a lot of networking in person, which I love.
Yeah.
I love it.
For me, it's really important face-to-face approach. Also, because I feel like if you're social on social media, you need to be social in real life.
Yes, and you do have you've got to see her in person, people, because she's very stylish, and she's got a great face. So why would she hide behind the not going out and being social? I want to thank you again.
Thank you.
I love Florence.
I'm happy.
Hopefully I'll come back and we can meet again.
Of course, absolutely.
maybe I'll have the Westie. And please, I'll show you the parachute dog. There's a little bit of a learning curve. Hope you like it. If you don't, that's fine too. There's a market for everyone and everything.
Absolutely.
I just thought it was cool that you had a dog blog, and I happen to have 2 of these with me. I'm going to France after this for 2 months.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then I'll be home. The south of France to Lemieux. It's a writers and artist retreat where I wrote my book a number of years ago. That's where I met Victoria, whose house I'm at. So everything is full circle in life, every single thing. And I just love meeting people. So I will hopefully see you in the future. And everybody, look on her blog, a girl, I keep saying that A. Girl, like, hey girl in Florence. Talk to you guys later. Bye-bye. Please enjoy some sounds from the 3 tenors live in Florence. Arrivederci.
Hey, Patricia Nolan-Brown. I just want you to know that I really like you and I loved your book. You're the only person that talks about inventions, like the personal aspect. You know, I love in your book how you had to have a good personality, da-da-da-da. Other people really don't talk about that, the men. And I just like your spirituality and your cowbells and all that good stuff. Keep up the podcast. I love listening to you, and I'm an inspiring inventor hoping to license and follow in your footsteps. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Patricia Nolan-Brown. Invent yourself. Thanks for tuning in. Please follow, subscribe, and share.
The podcast you just heard was made using Anchor. Ever thought about making your own podcast? Anchor makes it really easy for anyone to get started. It's a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing podcasts. Best of all, it's 100% free. Sign up now at anchor.fm/new. That's anchor.fm/new to get started.